each community on earth. If you take that away and try to distill us just down to white folks, we'll be like Europe, an aging, slowly dying former empire. The Roman Empire didn't survive because it didn't have enough strength in its diversity. It suppressed its diversity and it died. If the U.S. wants to be the Roman Empire, keep voting the way you're voting, y'all. Keep voting for people like each community.
What is she talking about, Michelle? What is she talking about?
Oh, she just sounds so unintelligent. I don't think she's ever researched a book. She's never studied anything about ancient Rome. I don't think she statistically knows the white versus black. Has she ever looked up how many people are considered white in the human population, since they're always talking about things on a grand scheme? Do you realize, again, this is, I've said this before, this is this American arrogance and notion that there are so many more white people and they're dominating the entire earth, when really they're the minority in the entire earth. There are far more black and brown communities that have been around forever, literally forever. Let's just look at African nations, and let's look at India, and let's look at China. Let's look at the Asian, like they don't exist. She doesn't know her history. And we know the fall of Rome, and let's just talk scripturally and biblically about the fall of Rome. We knew that was going to happen. And if we keep voting the way that she wants us to vote, we will definitely fall, because this has become a nation that is demonic. This has become a nation that is a lover of themselves, that is falling into all kinds of sin, that has forgotten God. That is what's going to cause the fall of this nation. And women like her, who continue to preach this false narrative and convince others to be as dumb as she is, because this is foolishness. She should pick up a book. She should start reading more than she talks on her channel.
Exactly. First of all, Rome didn't fall because of one bad emperor or one bad battle. Rome fell because the rot came from within, like her, like the media, like the Democratic Party or the left. Weak leadership, economic chaos, cultural decay, and an abandonment of the very virtues that built the civilization in the first place. That's what caused it to fall. And that's what conservatives, what Trump, what Republicans are trying to prevent. It had nothing to do with diversity. What is she talking about?
You know what's really silly, KJ? It was extremely diverse.
Right.
Rome was extremely diverse. It was a cultural hub. People came from all over the world to get to Rome. It had all kinds of people's groups. And if you read the New Testament, you'll just see how big Rome was and how many people traveled and how much commerce they did. So even that narrative is nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about the economic collapse that happened there. It was due to overtaxation. It crushed the middle class. This is the very thing that we're fighting against from the Democrats. My God, we're here in Maryland, and we're seeing this result within the last before the last 2 years. Previously, the previous administration we had was Republican. And we didn't see this. We had a surplus in the budget.
$5 billion.
Right. And now this new administration, now they elected a Democrat, Wes Moore. He's come in, went through the surplus, and now we're in what? What's the deficit?
$4 billion in deficit.
Wow. And what is he trying to do now in order to get it back, that money back? They're trying to tax us.
Whoa.
I mean, they are taxing us in an insane way. The taxes that they have started, or that they're talking about coming down on us. I mean, was it a rain tax?
Well, we had that. We fought it. It's not just taxes. So here's what they like to do. And I'm going to say that for any state and far left or Democrat or any just bad leadership. They don't even call it taxes. They know that's a hot button issue. So they call it fees. So they doubled our registration fees for our cars. They doubled the fees to cross certain bridges. They're doubling fees. It's not taxes. We've reduced your taxes. It's fees. The same thing with our houses here are out of control, and the taxes, they're not extra taxes. Your house has simply been assessed for $100,000 more than it was worth last year. And I don't know about the rest of you, but our housing market has not changed that drastically that you're coming through with all of your technology and your drones and saying my house is worth way more than I could ever get for it. That is a trick. It's a lie. It's sneaky, and that's what they're doing in these areas. They're still doing it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And not only in Maryland, but in Baltimore City here, you brought up a good point about the taxes and the fees. So right now, our mayor is currently proposing to lawmakers, we did propose to add a 2% sales tax on top of the state's 6% sales tax. So city residents already face 15 different taxes, and they pay twice as much in property taxes as neighboring jurisdictions. Again, this is a Democrat mayor. Of course, Baltimore City has been run by Democrats for decades, and the people with any sense have moved out of the city because of it. Families, businesses, all have moved out because of the heavy tax burden that we have that we experience here. And that is what caused Rome to decline. They taxed the citizens into poverty while elites lived large.
I mean, that's the reason the United States was created. Is we fought back on a 2% tax and we said, we're not paying for you to get wealthy overseas while we're sitting here in the United States and working. We're done with that. And we became, it ignited what we are now. So it's amazing how much, again, we don't learn history. We don't teach it. We have this very, far left leaning, and we see it in our books, and we've talked about it, right? We have children that can't read. We have history teachers or history books that aren't giving what we need to learn. Right. They kind of highlight and gloss over either happy times, bad times, sad times, or very specific times to kind of reprogram our children and prime them, as far as I'm concerned, to be socialists. Prime them to accept communism if it comes. And I'm just not doing it.
Right. And part of that is the moral decay. You know, again, she's talking about Rome. And another reason why they collapsed was the cultural and moral decay. You know, they turned away from traditional Roman virtues, duty, discipline, honor, and gave way to hedonism, apathy, and entitlement. These are the same things that we're seeing the Democrat Party push here in America. Abortion on demand. You know, they want to destroy traditional families, the nuclear family. They're taking away parental rights and making the state as the dominant factor in our children's lives. No more, if we don't affirm our kids' identity, then we can lose parental rights. I mean, and this is actually passed. This passed in Colorado. These types of things are what causes an empire, a country to decay. And she's totally just missing it. And I don't even think she's missing it. She's doing it on purpose. She's totally lying to get people, I guess, to just vote Democrat.
I don't know. I think she's like still job hunting. So maybe she's saying this because she's saying, look, guys, keep all these things going so that maybe I can get another job, better paying, a higher position. I don't know what she's doing. That's all she has, right? This is the shtick that she has. All she can do is cry DEI. All she can do is say, oh, woe is me. Woe is me. I go back to Michelle Obama. Woe is me in my beautiful home and all of my money. Woe is me. Nothing. Like you've got everything. You were blessed in this country. You have everything you have because of the very nation that we are, and you want us to go backwards for your sake? Right. I don't think people realize if we fall, I'm not going to say when, because I believe that Jesus can do all things, and this is our opportunity to turn back. But if we were to fall, the recovery time we wouldn't see. It'd be just like us becoming a nation, hundreds of years for us to be here, and we're a new nation. Look at what happened to Rome and how long it took to rebuild and become what it is, you know, to see Italy and to see those nations where they are now. We have to stop and fight back because there are other people on the other side fighting for our decline, fighting for us to be destroyed from within, KJ, like you said.
Yeah. And you know, I know a lot of times we as conservatives, we just like, oh, you know, I'm not listening to that liberal, you know, crap, you know, this leftist crap, you know, these MSDNC and things. And I get it, but sometimes it is important. I think we do need to just listen to what the lies that they're spewing. And this is why we do these reaction videos to this crap like Joy Reid, The View, because we got to know what they're telling a lot of people, you know, in
millions,
people that don't know these are lies. And just from this, you know, there's a lesson that we can point out the lies in what she said, and then tell people about the lessons, or the true lessons of Rome are not ancient history. They're flashing warning signs. If we want to preserve our civilization, we have to fight people like her, not physically, but with the truth. We have to fight the cultural decay, protect strong leadership, and defend the values that made us great. We have to do it.